Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining me for Tuesday Breath Break. We are going to drop down into a three-part triactive breath today, and I'm actually going to teach you 3 variations of this breath, okay? So the first one I'm going to teach you is much more exciting to the nervous system. So it's not anything that I'm going to recommend that you try, say, before bed. And also, if you have a tendency to suffer from hyperventilation frequently or panic attacks frequently, then I wouldn't recommend this first variation of the breath for you. And I would recommend you move on to the second and third variation, which are much more calming to the system. But I thought it would be a good chance to teach you all 3. And what I like to do generally is I'll start with one variation, do 10 inhales, 10 exhales for 1 round. Then I'll move to the second variation, do the same thing, and then the third, do the same thing, and then I've got my 3 rounds of breath in. If you find that there's one style of breath that you particularly like, stick with that, and just don't be surprised if that might change from day to day, week to week, whatever it is, based on where your body is, based on where your stress levels are, based on maybe where the healing is going on in your body. So enjoy the breath, play with the breath, and know it is always there to service you and to heal you and to help you. But again, if you become dizzy and increasingly dizzy over time with this breath, just back off, maybe drop into a coherent breath if that happens, just to help ground your system back down to a normal baseline, the coherent breath being a 4-count inhale followed by an 8-count exhale, just to bring your system back down into a nice steady state. But we're going to play with the triactive breath today. The first variation, again, is the one that I don't recommend before bed. I don't recommend if you suffer from hyperventilation or if you suffer from panic attacks. But if you don't have any of those going on, then certainly feel free to play with this one. So it is a 3-part breath. It is a 2-part inhale, first breathing into the belly, second breathing into the clavicle area or the chest, and then exhaling. And on this variation, you're going to do all of that through the mouth. So it's going to look like this. And I have one hand on my belly, one hand on my chest, and that is because as you go into this breath, you will notice that your body begins to want to naturally undulate and move with this breath, and that is normal. So please feel free to do that, to encourage it, and by having a hand on the belly and a hand on the chest, it actually just allows you to focus that breath and to focus that movement as you breathe, okay? So I am going to keep my eyes open today, but certainly feel free to close your eyes for any breath work that we practice. And we're just going to begin again with everything through the mouth, the 2-part inhale, once into the belly, once into the chest, and then an exhale, and just repeating over and over until we finish 10 cycles of inhales and exhales for 1 round of breath. And then allow your breath and your body to readjust after your first 10 inhales and exhales. So the second variation that we're going to learn today is going to be more calming to the body, and it's still going to be the 3-part breath with a 2-part inhale and then followed by the exhale. But this time on the inhale, as we sip into the belly, we're going to sip in through the nose this time, and then into the chest through the nose, and then on the exhale through the mouth. And after 10 inhales and exhales, once again, just allowing the body and the breath to readjust, coming back to normal, natural, effortless breath. And just seeing how you feel, seeing any sensations or vibrations that are coming up for you in the body. And then when we move on to our third variation of breath today, we're going to do everything in and out of the nose. So again, breathing into the belly through the nose, into the chest through the nose, and then out through the nose. So it'll go like this. Nice job. And so you can feel that each variation of this breath is very, very different. So again, I encourage you to play with it. If you want to do it like I do it, where you do one round as the first variation, the second round as the second variation, and the third round as the third variation, do that as well. But whatever you settle into, just enjoy playing with this breath. And as you become more and more comfortable with this breath, more in tune with this breath, and practice it over time, you'll be able to extend the number of inhales and exhales that you're taking, extending the amount of time that you're seated in this breathwork technique, and continue to reap more and more of the somatic benefits of this breath. So thank you as always for joining me on Tuesday Breath Break. Until we see each other again, namaste.